to our first home game of the Regis Jesuit 2012 season. Tonight, the Horizon Hawks travel to Lou Kellogg Stadium to take on the Regis Jesuit Raiders. I'm here with my partner, Steven Snyder. Tonight, our cameraman is Colin Stover, and our stats man is Justin Brazel, producer Tommy Rains. Steven, it's an absolute pleasure to be here for our first home game of the season. What are your thoughts?
You know, Jake, I'm really excited, especially after watching the Rangeview game last week with Regis's fantastic running attack. We'll see if they can bring that to this game. Looks like there was a penalty, Jake. Can you clarify that for me?
You know what, Steven? I didn't get the... Oh, it's a holding penalty on the Raiders, so Regis will start its first offensive drive of the night deep in its own red zone. Ball on the 12-yard line, 1st and 10. Quarterback for the Raiders, Matt Hotaling. He'll line up 5 wide receivers out, but he's under center, and it'll be a handoff. That's number 20, Chukuma. Chukuma takes it out to the 25-yard line for a Regis first down.
And, Jake, that's what we need to see from Chuk, a big run to start the game. Last week, I remember he had 241 yards on 14 carries. It's absolutely fantastic, Jake.
Without a doubt, Steven, Chukuma was one of the biggest stars of last week's game, and we expect even bigger things to come from him throughout the season. Here's Hotaling now, five receivers. Again in the center, another handoff to Chukuma, who comes in motion, and he's got some yardage. This time gets tripped up for maybe 1 or 2. There is a flag, so we'll see what the call on that. Steven, did you see anything?
You know, Jake, I didn't. The only thing I can think is holding on the Raiders way behind the play, which is just unnecessary and undisciplined. But that comes with a young team, as we talked about last week. Jake, the Raiders are a very young team.
Without a doubt, Steven. Again, for those of you that don't know, Matt Hotaling, the starting quarterback for the Raiders, is only a sophomore. Had a rough debut last game, threw for 3 picks, 1 touchdown. But, Steven, he did show some promise. And I think we can expect great things from him in the future. And it's an illegal block against the Raiders. So once again, that's a tough penalty that'll put Regis in a bad position here.
And you know, Jake, Chuk just ran the ball for 14 yards on 2 plays, but with the penalties, they've actually moved the ball nowhere. In fact, they moved it back a little, despite fantastic play. So I really think if the Raiders can get disciplined quickly and start utilizing their actual big plays for yardage instead of canceling out them with penalties, we'll see a lot better play from the Raiders.
A quick fun stat tonight is offensive coordinator Bob McPhee's 30th home opener in his coaching career, so a big congratulations to Coach McPhee. He's a staple of the Regis Jesuit community, and we wish the best. Hope he stays here for a few more openers. And there's going to be another flag. That was thrown simultaneously by multiple refs, so I'm guessing either delay a game or a false start.
You know, Jake, this is really concerning me if it goes against the Raiders because it is a delay of game, and that's, as you mentioned last week, Jake, that's just the worst penalty you can have.
Yeah, I really don't ever think it's acceptable. You should ever lose track of the clock that much, especially in high school when you have a 40-second play clock. But now the Raiders have it 1st and 25 on the 10-yard line. Here's Hotaling. Hotaling drops back. He's going to look straight over the middle, and he's going to keep it and run. And he'll take it out past the 25-yard line, taken out at the 27. Harsh, but there will be no late flag. But, Steven, that was a tremendous run.
You know, Jack, that was a tremendous run. And when I saw him dropping back to pass, we saw him pass last week, and I believe he had 3 interceptions last week, and I got a little concerned. But that run, he managed to escape a couple defenders, pick up some great yardage, Jake. Great play by the young quarterback.
So a 15-yard run by Matt Hotaling will set the Raiders up with 2nd and 10 on the 20-yard line. Hotaling. It's going to be a handoff up the middle to Grant Neal. Grant Neal, he's got space. He's out across the 40, the 45. He fumbles the ball. He did fumble the ball, but the referee is saying that he was down. So it'll stay Regis ball. Steven, I think Regis might have gotten away with a fortunate call there.
Jake, I think so too. I saw the ball kind of come loose before he hit the ground, and then it finally came out when he hit the ground. And I know Horizon recovered that, so I think they got a lucky break there, Jake. But, hey, whatever works, whatever moves the ball downfield.
So thanks to that call, the Regis Raiders will have a first down on the 47-yard line. Hoteling man in motion, number 4. And it's going to be a handoff again to Grant Neal, who powers forward for about 5 yards.
And Jake, Grant Neal's running right now is reminding me of a late season Jordan Jungers last year. You just power through the line and power your way to yards. No finesse, no juking. You just blow through defenders, and I love watching it.
Grant Neal, a junior, he splits running duties with number 20, Chukuma, a sophomore, a very talented sophomore, and 21, Chase Bertinelli, the senior. Here's Hoteling on 2nd and 5. It's going to be another handoff to Grant Neal, and he's stuffed by the Horizon defense for a short gain.
You know, Jake, that was a very surprising play to me. I saw the mass, and Grant seems to be gimping a little. Maybe I don't think that's a big concern right now, but I thought he stopped short and he just powered his way through. Looks like Grant Neal could have a big night here tonight, Jake.
Number 17, A.J. Shaw, checks into the game for the Raiders on 3rd and 3 from the Horizon 46-yard line. Here's Hoteling, 2 men in motion. That's Shaw and Orban. The Hawks in a defense. It's going to be a pitch to Chukuma. Chukuma, trying to jump over Steven. And it looks from our vantage point here that Chukuma is just a tad short. So it'll be 4th and very short.
Wow, Jake, I thought he had him with a hurdle, and I love seeing effort like that on the football field. You know, they're really trying, and the momentum's in their way. We'll see if they can convert this.
So 4th and 1, Steven, I definitely think this is the right decision. Ball on the 44-yard line of the Hawks. Hoteling might just sneak it here. Man in motion, number 14, Cody Lippert. And it's a handoff up to Chukuma, and that's not a favorable spot, but I think we'll get a measurement.
We'll see where they put it, Jake. He did look like he was down early, and from my vantage point, it looks like it's going to be just short.
So we'll wait to see if they bring out the chains, and indeed they will. So with 8:39 left in the first quarter, we're going to have a chain measurement. This is pretty crucial, Steven. The Raiders make this. They've got great field position. Going to continue a good drive. Horizon ranked currently number 9th in the Denver Post Preps high school poll. So on paper, Horizon is favored, and wow, Steven, 2-3 inches short, and the Raiders commit a turnover on downs.
And you know, Jake, when you can stop Grant Neal and Chuk 4 times in a row, you got to be excited if you're the Horizon defense. That's just a fantastic play there.
It's pretty amazing to keep such a big kid as Chukuma, and they didn't give us weight on the Regis roster, but he is one big dude, and he only needed a yard. An impressive job by the Hawk defense to bend but not break, and now here come the Horizon Hawks offense and their talented quarterback, number 7, Austin Stackhouse. Stackhouse pitches, number 22, Dante Chad, for a gain of nothing.
And you know, Jake, we saw Rangy run a couple plays like that last week on the Raiders, and those back pitches or handoffs deep in the backfield just aren't going to work. The Raiders defense are too vicious and too quick.
2nd and 10 for Stackhouse and the Hawks. 8:16 left in the first quarter on this beautiful night here in Aurora, Colorado at the Regis Jesuit campus. Stackhouse lines up in an ace, receiver on either side. He's going to hand it off. That's, again, number 22, Dante Chad, up for a gain of about 4.
And you know, Jake, that run by Dante, pure power, even though he doesn't have maybe the size of Grant Neal or the strength of Chuk. You could hear the pads hit from up there, and he just ran right through those defenders.
3rd and 5 for the Hawks, and it will be interested to see if they move to run or pass, because this is a pretty medium yard situation. I did talk to Coach Nolan before the game, and he said he had to recognize Stackhouse as a threat because of the skills he brings, and I hear the Regis defender shouting pass, and Stackhouse is going to roll out to the right. He's got a lot of green space in front of him, but he'll pass it to a wide open. That's number 20, Dustin Rivas, for a first down. Steven, that was well executed by Stackhouse.
That was very well executed, and you saw Stackhouse just roll out there when he saw the pressure coming, and he immediately started rolling. Actually, Jake, right when the play started, and then found his open receiver, and even the receiver, two Regis defenders bit on a little head fake there, which you don't really see at this level of football, Jake. Maybe in Little League those head fakes work, but not usually down here.
So Horizon just cracks the edge of the Regis red zone. They have the ball on the Raider 20. Stackhouse handoff to Chad, and Chad will get a couple at most. Steven, they are in the student section zone, so it'll be interesting to see how loud this place gets.
And Jake, we were listening to before the game when they were getting some pregame cheers, and they're pretty loud. We'll see if the fans can play a part on the game, and a lot of time that's the reason home field advantage works, is the fans do play a part. See if Regis can make that happen for their Raiders here on this first drive.
Under 6 minutes, 30 seconds to go, Stackhouse. The Raiders in a 4-3 looking to possibly blitz on the right, and it'll be a handoff to Chad. Chad smothered by the Raider defense, combining on that tackle Quinn Vandekoppel to stuff Chad's run.
And Chad he's really looking good tonight, Jake. But the Regis defense is just they're finding where he's running. They're blocking up those holes, which is working for now. But I imagine Dante will be on him all night, just pounding at him. And I imagine he'll find some holes tonight, Jake.
3rd and 5 for the Hawks on the Raider 15-yard line. Chand in motion. Stackhouse drops back. He's going to fire over the middle. Incomplete. 4th down and 5. Nice job by the Raider defense.
That was a nice job, Jake, but you can tell that Horizon's been watching their film because that West Coast quick passing worked against them against Rangeview very well. So they definitely ran the right play, just a little poor execution and some great defense by the Raiders will set up this 4th down.
Chad Davis, the senior, out to kick this 32-yard field goal from the 22-yard line. Steven, I believe this is the first field goal attempt we've seen this year, and the student section with their hands waving, we'll see if they can get into his head. The snap, the kick, and it does not. It's wide right. So with 5:33 left to go in the first quarter, the score is still Regis 0, Horizon 0.
And you know, Jake, on a kick like that, he was over on the left hash marks. It's really easy to overthink that you might not get it far over enough. But I imagine the Regis student section got in his head there. I saw a lot of arms, and that would have thrown me off. So as a kicker, you just got to keep the stadium out of your head and just keep your focus. And Horizon's kicker, David, wasn't able to do that there.
Yeah, it's a little bit of the same psychology that you get at college basketball games now. I remember seeing, now it's the big trend to get the spirals and wave them out in the air, but good job by the Regis students to possibly get into Davis's head. Man in motion, number 16. Hoteling, handoff to Chukuma. Chukuma bumbles his way for 9 yards.
Bumbles, powers. There could be so many adjectives to use that run, Jake. The point is he got him. But any verb really works there, Jake. That was such an interesting run.
2nd and 1 for the Raiders from the 29-yard line. Hoteling under center, man in motion, number 80. And there's a stoppage of play. A timeout, Horizon, with 5:05 left in the first quarter. Steven, what are your thoughts so far of what looks to be a very evenly matched and entertaining game?
You know, Jake, I think both defenses need to get back to fundamental tackling. You've seen a lot of defenders try to fly out and get the backfield tackles for like 5 yards where they could easily stop them for a yard loss with just some fundamental tackling. So I think discipline and fundamental tackling is the key for both defenses here. Both offenses working fantastically. Just had a couple unlucky breaks. Raiders starting with a 1st and 25 technically on their drive. And just, again, Jake, fundamentals on defense.
5:05 left in the first quarter. 2nd and 1 on the 29-yard line. Hoteling under center. Man in motion, number 17, A.J. Shaw. Hoteling handoff to Chukuma. Chukuma he's got enough for a first down, even though he took a hard spill.
And that's the exact tackling I was talking about, Jake. I wonder if Horizon coach was saying the same thing as me, because he got down, just got at his knees and gave him a hard hit. And even though he did get the first down, that was a great play by the Horizon defense.
For those of you that don't know yet, next week is the big showdown, Regis Jesuit versus Mullen at Mullen. So we look for a huge audience, not only at the stadium, but listening to us for our next broadcast. Here's Hotelling. It's going to be a handoff. And, wow, that's a good run. I think that was number 80, Alex Mitchell, on the run for a first down.
And, Jake, it does look like Grant Neal is on the sideline getting some attention. He looks a little beat up. Hopefully that doesn't affect the Raiders later in the game.
4:24 left in the first quarter. Hotelling under center. Horizon in a 4-4. Man in motion. Hotelling get a handoff to Chukuma up the middle. This time he's stuffed. Almost manages to shake off the first tackle, but he does get brought down for a gain of 0.
And you know, Jake, this could be dangerous. Oh, is Chuk down? This could be really bad for the Raiders if Chuk and Grant Neal are both hurt, because they are their main two running games. Chase Bernelli scored a touchdown last game, but he only had about 50 yards. Chuk and Grant had 100, and they had about 400 yards totaled. So, I mean, this could be really dangerous for the Raiders, Jake.
Yeah, Steven, I dare say if Chukuma and Grant Neal are hurt, even for maybe only a quarter, that would be disastrous. I tip my hat for Horizon. They're being very polite and kneeling. This is really unfortunate because Chukuma, again, such a kid with so much talent, only a sophomore. The Raiders are really going to have to change. Did you mute us? Are we still on? 4 minutes and 1 second, again, left in the first quarter. Head athletic trainer for the Regis Jesuit Raiders is Bree Perdue. And I've known her from my baseball managing last year. She's a really great athletic trainer. She's looking out for the boys, you know. Definitely nowadays in this culture where we've really started to recognize the dangers of concussions and injuries, really preventative procedures. But Chuk definitely looks hurt. This looks doubtful that he'll be back anytime soon. It looks to be a leg injury. I think Mrs. Perdue is working on his right leg, maybe his foot, and Coach Nolan's now walking out. Grant Neal's still on the bench, and he's hurt. So, Steven, I'd say this is the equivalent. You know what? I don't know if I can think of an equivalent. This would be like Nebraska losing Taylor Martinez and Rex Burkhead, or the Patriots losing Gronk, Tom Brady, and Wes Welker.
That's actually a great equivalent, Jake. This would be like, in fact, we saw an example of it last year. This would be like the Colts losing Peyton Manning. Go from 14-2 to 2-14, and this could, if both these guys are really hurt, Jake, this could determine the Raiders' season right here. So definitely hoping at least one of them's okay. Hopefully both of them are okay, but oh man, Jake, I don't know. Horizon just playing some tough defense and some hard tackles, which the Raiders didn't get against Rangeview. So we'll see. Wow, this is. We saw Alex Mitchell carry the ball, right, and Chase Bernelli can, but Chuk and Grant Neal, both the power runners for Regis, and that's how their block formations are set up, Jake. Set up to be power runners. So we'll see what's happening with Chuk here. It looks like the trainers are attending to him, but again, Jake, if Regis can't use their power runners and they have to go to speed running, it could be a problem for their blocking scheme.
All the combined Regis runners so far have gained 56 yards on the ground, and Hotelling has made no passes, I think. Hotelling's ran too. But Chukuma's being carried off the field. He's in our prayers. We hope he recovers quickly. And Grant Neal's shoe is off, so the Raiders will have to turn to Chase Bertinelli. The trick here, Steven, you can't get into that mindset where it's hopeless. You still have to find a way to have confidence in Chase.
And, you know, Jake, I'm even standing up here with this kind of depressing mood. I have faith in Chase, and I know he can do it. He knows he can do it.
2nd and 10. Hotelling's going to scramble out to the right. Hotelling's got a man, number 5. The pass led him a little, but there will be a flag. Pass interference. Steven, between you and me, I think that's an awful call.
Yeah, Jake, I don't know. That ball, he did touch the receiver's fingers, but I couldn't tell exactly when the shove was. I know, Jake, now that I look back on it, it was a terrible call. I know when it happened, I kind of waved my arm a little, making a flag motion, so I'm kind of undecided here, but I think I'd probably side with you, Jake.
There might have been a little bit of contact, but I think the thing is that it was so uncatchable. Like, I don't think he could have caught that. He was out of bounds, I thought.
And the only thing that I think the refs questioned, Jake, is he did get his fingertips on the ball with 1 foot in bounds, which technically is catchable.
So Hotelling doesn't complete a pass yet, but gets 15 yards through the air. 1st and 10 for Regis Jesuit from the 42. It's going to be handoff to Chase, who hands it off to number 18, who, oh my gosh, that's an awful pass, and it's picked off. That was number 18, Kevin Ware, throwing probably one of the ugliest ducks I've ever seen in my life. And the Horizon defender had enough time to run like 20 yards back and pick it off. Wow, a good idea, but that was terrible execution, Steven.
You have to execute that in practice 50 times, Jake. You can tell Regis had not done that. They probably ran at about 10. And if you're doing a trick play, you really got to know what you're doing, Jake. And it didn't look like Regis did there. I don't know if the ball's wet from the rain earlier maybe, but that was – Jake, I can't even talk about it.
If anybody doesn't like the Nebraska Cornhuskers, you can easily mimic Taylor Martinez's throwing motion. It looks similar like that. But the Hawks will have it 1st and 10. Stackhouse will roll left, roll right. He's almost got a man down the field. Nice defense by number 32, Daniel Talley, the junior defensive back, to bat that incomplete.
And you know, Jake, that was great defense by the Raiders on the passing end, but you got to look at their D-line. It was so effective last week. I don't know if it's because Grant Neal's out. It looks like Chuk is sitting up from what I can see. Oh, no, he's not. He has his legs stretched out, but very effective footwork by Stackhouse in the pocket, and you can really tell he knows what he's doing in the pocket, Jake. He's a great quarterback.
Stackhouse in the shotgun, and there's a stoppage of play, and it'll be a false start on the Hawks. Steven, the Regis student section's pretty loud right now. There's the famous banana chant.
Yeah, Jake, and in a second, you'll see it get really crazy here. There we go. We can hear him loud and clear over here, but we'll see. Stackhouse, very experienced QB, as I was saying, Jake, and he'll do well tonight.
3rd and 15, ball on the Horizon 32-yard line. Man in motion, number 11, Jacob Arellano. Stackhouse, it's a halfback draw, and the Regis defense read that perfectly. Gain of maybe 1.
Antonio Broadus there, number 7, Jake. Really having a little issue without Grant Neal on the other side, but still getting back there and throwing that hit on the Horizon runner there and just making his presence felt. And I think that's what the Regis D-line needs to do, like they did against Regis, make their presence felt.
Under 3 minutes to go in the first quarter, 3rd and 14. When I spoke to Coach Nolan before the game, he told me that one of the areas that he'd like to see the most improvement in his team is in the discipline aspect. So hopefully the Raiders can cut down on penalties. Stackhouse airing it deep down the sideline. Number 20 caught the ball. That's a very impressive pass and catch. A great job by number 20 to keep his balance for just a few seconds. And Steven, Stackhouse looks like he can play.
And Jake, I was saying that earlier, and again, you saw that footwork in the pocket. He's definitely an experienced quarterback, knows what he's doing, and has some great mechanics, and that's really all you need. You saw him step up there, get his foot set. He wasn't afraid of the Regis D-line because they haven't really affected him, and that's what they need to do to break up his mechanics and get in his head, Jake.
1st and 10 on the 25-yard line of Regis. Stackhouse going to hand it off. I think that was Dante Chand, but a good job by the Raider defense to keep that to a minimal gain.
And, Jake, I feel like that long throw is going to be there all night. The Regis deep backs, experienced but definitely older, but not exactly fantastic at play. And I feel like with throws and catches like that, Horizon will be there all night, and they will be throwing all over the Raiders unless they can figure out a way to stop that, preferably by sacking Stackhouse and getting in his head.
Some quarterbacks you just can't shake. 2nd and 8 on the Regis 23. Stackhouse going to hand off to Chand, and once again, the Regis defense doing a good job of punching those holes.
And, Jake, one thing I've noticed from the Regis defense, they did this in the Rangeview game, too, that was absolutely fantastic, is they are making their presence felt when they do hit you. They're hitting you hard, they're hitting you often, and they are taking you to the ground with a lot of force, Jake. And next time you're running towards them, they're going to know what happened last time, and that's what Regis needs to keep up doing well.
1:21 in the first quarter. Stackhouse in the shotgun, a halfback to the right of him. Stackhouse going to look right and fire. That's number 20, his target on the deep ball, Dustin Rivas, but this time it went through his hands, and it will be 4th and 7.
Eddie Gonzalez there putting Stackhouse on the ground and making his presence felt at least a little with the D-line, but you saw that Rivas and Stackhouse were on the same page the entire way there. Ball just got a little way away from Stackhouse, but fantastic route. That's just pass and catch, Jake, and I think that'll be there all night, to be honest.
So Horizon on 4th down and 7 is going to go for it, either a complete lack of trust in the kicker or an absurd amount of confidence for 4th and 7. We'll see Stackhouse man in motion, number 20, Rivas. Stackhouse going to take off, and he is not going to make it. A great job by the Regis defense to make Horizon pay for a very questionable play call.
Last week, Jake, and I would say that was questionable. I just don't think they trust that kicker. The fans are in his head. The last kick is in his head. And honestly, I probably wouldn't take my kicker out either there, Jake. But the DNs were the story last week. Antonio Broadus and Grant Neal. And this week the story is Eddie Gonzalez at D-tackle, just destroying the line and getting some hits in. Hit Stackhouse on the play before and then got Stackhouse there. So look out for Eddie at D-tackle, Jake.
So the Raider offense will take over on their own 20-yard line with 1 minute and 6 seconds left in the first quarter, with the score still 0-0. Hotaling under center, man in motion number 4, John Schmidt. And it's a handoff to Schmidt. Many flags. This one is coming back.
I think so, Jake. It looked like it was in the altercation between number 19 for the Raiders, Robert Orban, and number 95 for the Hawks. 92 for the Hawks, Colin Temmer. That will be, Jake. What is that penalty call? Sorry, I missed that.
I think that one was holding, and that's, yeah, the official call is holding. I can listen to the Regis offensive coordinator sitting to the left of me. They're not happy. We're under 1 minute to go, but the Raiders will now start with the ball on their 10-yard line. Let's see. It'll be first down, and I think it's even longer than 19. I think it's 1st and 21. So here's another stoppage of play, and it's a timeout, Regis Jesuit. So Mark Nolan and Bob McPhee will talk over this play call. And the clock is running right now, Steven. I don't know why that's happening. So we'll have to see what's going on with that. But, Steven, we'd like to remind the audience that we have some great college football action on TV tomorrow. Nebraska travels to UCLA. Notre Dame plays Purdue. Ohio State takes on Central Florida. And the big showdown, of course, everyone wanting to see how the new kids on the block, Texas A&M, will do in their first SEC home game against the Florida Gators. Steven, what are you most looking forward to tomorrow?
Jake, tomorrow I'm definitely looking forward to a lot of those games. Again, Regis also has its day of service tomorrow, which I'm looking forward to. I know there's over 600 participants from the school going out just for a day of service, and really excited for that. And then tomorrow night, actually, Jake, we're broadcasting the soccer game right here from Luke Kellogg Stadium, Regis Jesuit versus Pine Creek.
For those that were unaware, yesterday Regis opened its season with a 4-4 shootout tie against Mullen at Mullen. In motion, number 17, A.J. Shaw, hoteling. Handoff to Bertinelli, and Bertinelli gets slammed after maybe picking up 2 yards.
And Jake, now that I look at it, Regis has had a first and 20+ on both drives, and you really can't have that, Jake. That just kills your football team. I mean, I don't see, is there any way that can be beneficial at all, Jake?
Absolutely none. I'm not sure why the clock stopped after that run. I'm a little confused, but Horizon lining up 6 men in the box. Looks like a 4-2, and I heard that they would do this with their DBs. Hoteling, another handoff to Bertinelli, and it's not at all Chase's fault, but I just don't think he has the same intimidation factor as a huge over 6-foot Chukuma.
And Jake, I don't know if it's I think it's partially the intimidation, but Chuk and Grant are both power backs, and Chase is a speed back, and they're trying to use power run plays that they typically use, and it's just not working for Chase, Jake.
So we're under 10 seconds to go in the first quarter. It looks like Hoteling's not going to get this playoff. So they'll walk off the end of the first quarter with the score Regis Jesuit 0 and Horizon 0. So we're going to take a quick break and join you when the second quarter begins. You're listening to Regis Jesuit Live with Steven and Jake. Part of the second quarter, Hoteling on third and forever, throwing it down the field. No one was there. The pass falls harmlessly incomplete, and Regis Jesuit will be forced to punt.
And Jake, during the breakdown quarter, I noticed a couple things. First of all, Chuk has put his shoe back on and is walking around. I think they're going to try to get him back in. Grant is keeping his shoe off, and I don't think I have any plans of intentionally putting him back in. And, yeah, Jake, did you notice anything during the break?
Other than the fact that they switch sides of the field, nothing immediately comes to mind. Punting is Sebastian Harris, a low snap. Sebastian barely gets it off, and it's a good punt, though. He fields it at his own 45, and he will go nowhere. Great punt coverage by the Raiders. Alan Campbell on the stop. Tackles number 20, Dustin Rivas. So Horizon will start with the ball on their own 45-yard line.
What was the distance? All right. And Jake, you know, I honestly, 40-yard punt there, Jake. Great punt by Sebastian, especially for the snap, but I honestly think the Raiders should be happy with the injuries to their running back, having to throw the ball with their quarterback, which is subpar, and just overall to be in a 0-0 draw and have the ball, Jake.
Stackhouse in the shotgun. He's going to quickly fire out to the left. And a missed tackle there by, I think that was number 28, Shane Moody, with a missed tackle. And the result is a 17-yard pass completion for a first down.
Jake, back to the fundamental tackling. Shane went for the big hit there, which is what the Raiders do, but they need to make sure they get them wrapped up before they start trying that, Jake. That's just my opinion.
Opinion shared by most people in America. Stackhouse, he's going to throw. Now he's going to try to run, and he'll plunge forward. So it is not a sack. He'll get about 2 or 3 yards. But, Steven, you can tell, even when he's under pressure, he's not really panicking.
Quality of all great quarterbacks, Jake. They don't panic under pressure. They sit in the pocket and they make the throws they need to make. But I'm glad the Regis D-line's eventually getting in there, Jake. That was one of my keys to the game, as I mentioned earlier, and they're finally putting it in motion.
2nd and 8 ball on the 36-yard line. Stackhouse in the shotgun. He's going to scramble out to the right. And again, he's going to run forward. He's going to throw down the field. Ooh, his man went right and the ball went left. That could have been dangerous.
That could have been dangerous, Jake, but that was actually fantastic. That play was completely broken, and Stackhouse turned it into a sprained play, not quite a broken play. So great job by Stackhouse and Horizon there.
10:40 left to go in the first half of play. 3rd and 8. Stackhouse in a shotgun, trips on the right. Stackhouse scrambling right. And Stackhouse is going to throw deep to a receiver in number 16. That's number 16, Tanner Spear, for a big gain. Steven, he's making the big throws.
And you know, Jake, before that throw, he was actually he only completed 3 of 7, but he had 93 yards passing on 3 carries. So it's absolutely fantastic. That play went for 29, Jake. So he is at about 120 yards passing on 4 plays. That's absurd, Jake.
Stackhouse has been completing the long passes so far. The Hawks will start with the ball on the Regis Jesuit 7-yard line, 1st and goal. Stackhouse is going to hand off to number 5, and the Regis defense penetrates. Steven, you know who that was on the tackle? Number 10, Quinn Vandekoppel, just laying the lumber for a 2-yard loss.
Jake, Hawks 0 for 2. Raiders looking to make them 0 for 3 in the red zone. And when you can do that, Jake, that's really got to frustrate a team. But Horizon's still looking calm, and they'll see if they can get into the end zone here against this tough, Regis, really goal line-oriented defense.
If there's anything Coach Mark Nolan wants to do is he wants to have a tough physical football team. Here we are under 9:30. Stackhouse, he's looking right. He's now going to look, and he's going to have to eat the ball. That will be a sack and a loss of 1.
One name, Jake. Eddie Gonzalez has been tearing it up. He wrapped Stackhouse up there and then just let his defense take them down, but he just made sure Stackhouse couldn't throw, and he's really tearing it up tonight. Good for Eddie.
9 minutes left in the first half. It's 3rd and 12. 3rd and goal, really, but the ball's on the 12-yard line. Stackhouse will come to the line in an I formation. 2 receivers on the left, tight end on the right. Stackhouse trying to make the Regis defense jump. He's going to hand it off to Chad, and he'll get nothing. So, Steven, decision time.
You know, Jake, I'd say go for it just because they are on the hash marks again. And their kicker, if you put them on the hash marks. They aren't at the student section, though. I think I'd honestly say kick it, Jake, but Horizon obviously confident in Stackhouse's experience and poise, and I think they'll go there.
Steven, I just think personally that you have to get points. The fact is, it's so demoralizing if you keep getting deep in the red zone and you come up with nothing. That basically tells your offense that that whole drive was for nothing. But they will go for it. 4th and goal from the 10-yard line. Stackhouse, he doesn't know what to do. He's under pressure. 0 for 3. 0 for 3. The Horizon offense has just continued to crumble in the red zone.
And you know who that was, Jake? My main man, Eddie Gonzalez, with yet another sack. Eddie is tearing it up there. And, you know, Jake, 0 for 3 in the red zone. You just can't have that.
I really don't understand the play calling. I mean, not only have you pretty much told your kicker that you do not trust him at all. But it's 0-0 in what's been a pretty much Horizon-dominated first half so far. So Hotelling will now come out. Hopefully the Regis offense can gain some good yards. Under center, A.J. Shaw, Robert Orban in motion. 7:54 left in the first half. Hotelling gonna pitch it. That is, it looked like, I believe, number 24, Jalen Williams, the junior running back, for a gain of about 8. That's a pretty good run, Steven.
And you know it is, Jake, and they were utilizing what they needed to there with their pitch out and using their speed backs. They do have speed backs left. I'm just looking for Chuk down on the sideline and can't quite find him, which means he's walking around. Oh, Chuk is sitting. Oh, his shoe's off again, Jake. That could be a problem.
I don't think we'll see Chukuma back in this half, perhaps in the second half, but yeah, or Grant Neal. Man in motion, Alex Mitchell. It's going to be a handoff to Mitchell. He'll run it around on the right side, and Alex Mitchell has a first down and good yardage on the right side of the field. He'll take it across the 30-yard line for a Regis Jesuit first down.
And you know, Jake, I didn't see that one coming either, just like the first time they ran into A. Mitch. So we'll see if they can keep utilizing that with their speed backs on outside runs and pitches, and we'll see if they can use the speed game and change their blocking scheme to fit the speed game, Jake, to beat Horizon here today.
And I didn't see it, Steven, but the call on the field is holding against the Raiders, so Alex Mitchell's first down trot has been nullified. And the Raiders will, the holding penalty was upfield some, so it'll still be 2nd and 5 from the 18-yard line. But it's disappointing that that first down is revoked. 7 minutes to go in the first half. Hotelling under center. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Horizon got 5 men up close, and it's going to be a handoff. That's Jalen Williams, and that should be a first down, Steven.
You know, Jake, that should be a first down. We'll see where they spot it. Chains haven't moved yet, which is a little concerning. Did they really not get it, Jake? I really thought they had it by a couple of yards.
They did.
Oh, they did get it, Jake. Sorry about that.
So it'll be a Regis Jesuit first down. 6:28 to go in the first half. Still tied 0-0 in what's been a thoroughly dominating performance so far by Horizon. But they have no points to show for their impressive drives. So the only stat that really matters, Steven, at the end of the day is points. And Regis Jesuit has not fallen behind in that category. Hotelling under center. 2 receivers left, and there's a whistle. Timeout, Regis Jesuit.
And Jake, that timeout looked to be to avoid a delay of game, which they did avoid it, but you can't get into those situations, Jake. It's just, again, you were talking to Coach Nolan about discipline, and we've both mentioned it a couple times, so we'll see what the Raiders can come out with here. Do you think now would maybe be a time to try to catch them off guard with maybe a deep pass, Jake?
I personally would be in favor of having Hotelling throw some deep balls because I think right now the Regis offense is so one-dimensional. Horizon just can stack 8 and 9 in the box and consistently limit the Regis running game. Either the one reason that I could see Regis not wanting to pass is if the coaches don't have faith in Hotelling to successfully deliver balls. But, Steven, I think they have to.
And you know, Jake, you put the coaches in that position. Hotelling threw 3 interceptions last week, so you got to be careful with that, Jake. And I understand the coaches, but I understand your point of view too, and they both make sense, and you could make great arguments for either.
And there's another flag on the play, so after the timeout, looks to be a penalty on the Raiders. That's pretty bad to come out of a timeout and commit an illegal motion penalty after you've talked over the play. But it will be 1st and 15 for Regis Jesuit from the 17-yard line. Yeah. I believe every drive has started with a penalty. So it'll be 1st and 15. Hotelling scrambling out to the right, looking downfield. He's going to take off and run, coming near sideline, taking out to the 30. He's got yardage. They rule he stepped out of bounds at the 30. But that is a good gain for Hotelling, a gain of more than 10. And I don't believe it, Steven. There's a flag on the field.
Jake, if this is against the Raiders for holding, you almost have to be Coach Nolan, take your last time out, and you know these players are going to hear about that in the locker room in this half, Jake. They're going to really get about discipline and stuff, Coach Nolan. Is this penalty on the Raiders, Jake? I can't quite see.
Wait for the official call. Holding on Regis Jesuit. This is pretty bad discipline. For those of you that don't really follow football that much, it's never a good thing to get consecutive penalties back-to-back, but especially after a timeout when you assume you talk over the play, what you're going to do. So the Regis offense will have 2 big gains nullified, and it'll be 1st and 25 from the 9-yard line. Hotelling under center. Alex Mitchell going from left to right. Hotelling's going to do a screen pass to Alex Mitchell, and he gets tackled for a gain of 1. And there's a flag on the sideline. So if this is a legal motion on the Raiders, I don't know if this is a coaching problem where they're actually just designing plays that are illegal, or if the players just don't know how to carry them out.
You know, Jake, this is really concerning. This is the Raiders' 6th penalty, and this will make it where the Raiders haven't started a drive with less than 21 yards to go on 1st down, which, I mean, Jake, when you're extending the field that long, well, I don't think there was a flag, Jake.
There was a flag, but it was declined by Horizon, and that's a lateral. That's a lateral. I think it was recovered out of bounds. Are they going to give it to him? We'll see what the ruling on that is, and it's Horizon ball, but I really thought that he recovered the ball out of bounds. So the rule on the field, folks, is a lateral. The pass was thrown to Alex Mitchell, but it went backwards behind the line of scrimmage, so it was a live fumble. And apparently Horizon recovered the fumble in bounds, even though, Steven, it really looked like he recovered the ball out of bounds.
Yeah, Jake, Jake, I don't know. He was kind of sliding, and I couldn't see when he had possession, so we'll see. Horizon ball on the 1. We'll see if the Raiders can stiff him here.
1st and goal on the 1-yard line. Stackhouse is going to hand it off to Chad, and he punches it in for a touchdown. So high school football, folks, no instant replay. 6-0 Horizon.
And Jake, man, if you're the Raiders, I honestly think you were expecting something like that to happen soon. I mean, when you're starting every drive inside your 10-yard line, you can't expect good things when you keep shooting yourself in the foot, to be honest.
Horizon does look like they are in kicking formation. 5:35 when the touchdown scored. Stackhouse, the hold. The kick is up, and the kick is good. 7-0 with 5:35 left in the 1st half. We're going to take a quick break on RJ Live. We'll be back after this. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to Luke Kellogg Stadium in Aurora, Colorado. The Horizon Hawks took a 7-0 lead on a touchdown run by Dante Chand after a lateral was recovered by the Hawks on the 1-yard line. the kickoff from the 40-yard line. It's a low line drive, and it'll be fielded and dropped. That's number 21, Jalen Williams, but Williams will take it across the field. No, excuse me, 21, Chase Bertinelli. So almost mishandled play that turns out well for the Raiders.
And you know, Jake, I was watching the PAT from Horizon. I'm not getting the lack of faith in the kicker. That was a fantastic PAT, and it went all the way back to the track. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it's just Horizon coaching decision. They finally got points on the board, which has to be a plus for the Horizon offense there, finally getting some points.
So here comes the Regis Jesuit offense. Matt Hotelling under center. 2 receivers to the left. That's Orban and A.J. Shaw in motion coming across to the left side. Hotelling will pitch it. That's Jalen Williams, and he'll be driven out at about the 29-yard line, so that's a gain of nothing.
Jake, they have the right idea, the Raiders, I think. They just need to change their blocking scheme to block for speed. They are used to blocking for power, but as you can see, Grant Neal and Chuk, both ice. Don't think we'll see him in this half. Maybe not even in the rest of the game, Jake.
Steven, I don't remember if Jalen Williams got a single handoff last weekend, so he's either their 4th-string running back or he just surpassed Chase. But it'll be another handoff to Williams, and he trips. Clearly not really used to running the ball in game situations, but he's the guy now, so hopefully he can dig deep and come up big in this situation. It'll be 3rd and 5.
Interesting thought, Jake. You think they might put in Zach Heath, try to get a passing game going maybe in the second half?
We'll see. I still think Matt Hotelling is the man for the Raiders. And Hotelling, that was an interesting play. Bertinelli bounding forward. A generous spot. That was a generous spot by the officials. And it looks to be enough for a first down. I think they marked Chase a little up.
That spotting was for about a 7-foot running back, and as we know, Chase is 5'4".
4:12 left in the first half. Again, Horizon up 7-0 over Regis. Subs now in the game, number 9, Elliot DeJour. 2 receivers on the left, Hotelling under center. Horizon going to do a defensive shift, and that's John Schmidt coming in motion. Not a handoff to Schmidt, but a handoff to Williams, and that's almost a Regis first down. We'll see. It looks like they're going to give him the spot.
And Jake, I was watching that run by Williams. He has great field vision. It's just a little slow on picking up that fantastic field vision. He just needs to pick something and commit to it there. He had a lot of head shaking, a lot of jerking that probably took off a couple of yards from his run and possibly a big run, but overall a great run from Jalen.
3:39 left in the first half, and it will be indeed just a little short, so it'll be 2nd and inches for the Raiders. Hotelling under center, man in motion number 16. Thomas Donegan, handoff. Oh, no, it's a pass. It's a pass to number 80. And Matt Hotelling just overthrew Alex Mitchell. Looked to be a little held up, Steven.
You know, Jake, I looked, and it looked like A-Mitch had his arm behind his, Alex Mitchell had his arm behind his back. I call him A-Mitch in school, but I don't know if he was trying to draw a foul maybe, and the official saw that, but it looked like he was a little held up, definitely, Jake.
3rd and 1 now for the Raiders, Steve, and I like the idea, go big on 2nd and inches, because you always have 3rd and 1. So we'll look for a running play here, and it'll be a handoff. Williams for a first down, and, Chase Bertinelli for a first down and more, picking up around 11 yards.
There's that outside run with the speed back, Chase Bertinelli, Jake, and I think the Raiders have finally figured out. We'll see with only 3:14 on the clock if the Raiders can punch one in here. They're only about 40 yards out, Jake.
1st and 10 on the Horizon 40-yard line. Horizon, 4 men in a 3-point stance and 1 possible blitzer on the right side. John Schmidt in motion. And Hotelling will hand off to Jalen Williams for a gain of nothing.
Just give me a name. One of the Horizon players, I want to say number 98 for Horizon. 99, actually. Easton Robbins had a great jump there and tripped up Chase. Almost looked like he went early. He was so ahead of the game.
2:30 left in the second quarter. John Schmidt in motion. Hotelling. Handoff to Bertinelli. Bertinelli pounds his way for a good gain of about 6 yards, and it'll be 3rd and 4. But, Steven, I don't know if you saw, but Matt Hotelling almost got tackled in the backfield by a Horizon defender.
I did see that, Jake, but what I was focusing on was Chase Bertinelli, that plan. Every time I call him a speed back, comes back with a power play like that, blasts through defenders. So Chase is very versatile, and I really think the Raiders can use him in the absence of Grant and Chuk.
3rd and 4 on the 44. John Schmidt again in motion. And Hotelling's going to scramble out right. He drops the ball. He dropped the ball. And that's a tough fumble. Number 88 recovering for Horizon, Gunnar Campbell. Steven, if he didn't fall on that, he would have walked into the end zone.
He would have, Jake, but I love seeing people falling on fumbles. That is smart football, and that's what Horizon's been playing tonight is smart football. You called it, Jake, the play before. Matt almost got tackled in the backfield, and then that play got sacked in the backfield with a fumble. I really think Raiders need to stay away from play action. Just get Hotelling's arm in the game, Jake.
Turnovers hurt. And that's the second turnover of the game for the Raiders. The first was a trick play that completely failed. The poor kid, who is he? That's number 18, Kevin Ware, with not the prettiest pass. Got just pretty much caught like an outfielder running under it. Stackhouse is going to scramble out to the right, and he doesn't have any receivers immediately, and he's going to tuck it and run. He'll take that out to about the 49-yard line. So, again, a good job by Stackhouse to make something out of nothing.
Indeed, Jake, and he saw his poise there, looked, got his reads, wasn't anybody there, and just took the run. We'll see if the Raiders can hopefully hold this at a 7-0 and go into the locker room with a fantastic 7-0. If Raiders go into the locker room with 7-0 deficit, Jake, I'd be very surprised and happy if I were Regis Jesuit, actually.
2nd and 5 on the 49. Stackhouse going to look left. He's looking deep down the field, and I think he overthrew. Yep, that's number 16, Tanner Spear. But if he would have hit him in stride, he was way out in the open.
He was, Jake, and Stackhouse saw him, made his execution, made his choice, which is hard for high school quarterbacks to do, find their man, make a choice, and just go for it. So, again, great maturity there from Stackhouse, and again, he's beyond his years, Jake. He's really beyond his years.
Senior quarterback for Horizon. Not sure if he has any college offers or plans, but he certainly looks very talented. 3rd and 5 from the 49-yard line. Stackhouse pumping left. He's got some space in front of him on the right, and he's gonna scramble around, and a rare bad decision by Stackhouse. His hesitation cost him a possible first down.
Jake, I am shocked there. That was not the same Stackhouse I said that just made a choice on the last play. Very hesitant there. And great Raiders just kept a man floating in between the first down markers and their line and really kept Stackhouse contained. And great poise by the Raiders there.
So Horizon will call timeout with 1:17 left in the second quarter. And, Stephen, the only reason I can think that they would do this is if they're going to go for it. So the way I perceive that is that's a pretty big lack of respect for the Regis offense if they would risk turning over the ball at midfield.
And, Jake, honestly, if I were Horizon, I wouldn't be threatened by the Regis offense the way we've been playing tonight. Their two main runners and yard producers, Chuk and Grant Neal, are both sitting on the bench with shoes off ice. So I honestly think Horizon, if I were Horizon, I would go for it, Jake, because the Regis offense hasn't done anything to my defense tonight.
So ball on the Regis Jesuit 49-yard line. 4th down and 3. Stackhouse in a shotgun. He's going to take a quick step back and fire it over the middle. Number 23, Greg Gonzalez for a first down. And now Horizon will have to hurry it up with 1:12 remaining in the half.
And Jake, sorry, Jake, here you go.
Horizon goes no huddle, and Stackhouse scrambling out to the right. There's a flag on the field, but Stackhouse will somehow get out of it and just dump it off to number 88. Flag on the field. I think that's holding against Horizon.
And Jake, I don't think words need to be said about that play before that. You knew what I was going to say about that West Coast offense just eating up the Raiders with quick passes. I know you've heard that from me probably about 50 times these last 2 games, but it's true. I imagine this is holding. Jake, what do you think?
Interesting decision if you're going to accept the penalty or take the negative yardage. And indeed, with only a minute left, they will accept the penalty. Smart decision because it'll push Horizon back to their own 42-yard line. That's a big, big penalty. And because it happened, holding is a spot foul. It's 10 yards back from where the foul was committed. So it'll be 1st and 26 for Horizon. Stackhouse in a shotgun, 3 receivers to the left, a halfback to his left. Stackhouse, he's going to scramble out to the right. He's looking downfield, got a man up. That's number 11, just out of his reach, but that's a pretty spiral, Steven.
Jake, it was really easy to watch that ball, which is not really usually easy to do with high school quarterbacks. A lot of times they're wobbling all over, and his receiver and him were on the same page. Regis just didn't make contact. That was key, Jake, not making contact for the pass interference for Regis. Great discipline there. One of the first times we've been able to say that all season.
40 seconds left now in the second quarter. We'll see if Horizon plans to still just air the ball downfield with these few seconds remaining. Stackhouse going to once again line up in the shotgun. 2 receivers left. Number 20, Chand, going now to the left. Stackhouse will once again roll out to the right. This looks like a very similar play, except this time he's going to dump it off. That was almost intercepted, but they're going to say he's out of bounds.
Good call by the officials there, Jake. Good defense by the Raiders, and I don't know if the defensive line or the time pressure or what's getting the Stackhouse. He's not looking like the Stackhouse we've been seeing all game, Jake.
So we'll see now, Steven, if Horizon decides to run out the clock in this half or if they're going to throw another one in the air. If it were me guessing, I would say they're going to run it and try to take a 7-0 halftime lead. And we can be sure that Mark Nolan will not have kind words to describe his team. 31 seconds left in the second quarter. Stackhouse will line up in a shotgun. Now it's trips right. Halfback to his left. Stoppage of play. There's a flag on the field, and that's delay of game. It's a bit tougher in high school, I'd say, because there's no play clock on the field, but you still just got to have sort of an internal clock to remind you when you got to get going.
You know, Jake, I think now that they're so far back, if our Horizon, I'm almost take the knee. And as you said, not kind words for Coach Nolan. Imagine the words that are going to be in the Horizon locker room, Jake. You go 25% in the red zone and come away with 7 points when the game's been going. You've been playing on a downhill slope, Jake. So I would be scared to step into either locker room during halftime, Jake.
And I would like to point out, Steven, that the one conversion that they did make was when they started the ball on the 1-yard line. Stackhouse is going to air it out deep down the field and almost intercepted by number 11, J.J. Kilgore, but overthrown. So Stackhouse not afraid to go for the deep ball, just hasn't been hitting his targets as of late. It'll be 4th and 31. Steven, I expect Regis, unless they get a good return here from, that's number 80, Alex Mitchell, I expect them to just take a knee and go into halftime down 7.
Especially with Matt Hotelling, Jake. I think that's the only option you really have. I mean, you're getting out of here lucky. Don't try and push your luck. It's a very short punt, Jake.
That's an awful punt, and it's coming back. The punt, they can't rule it down there. He touched it there. But, okay. One of the referees almost made a really bad decision, but good. That was a punt of about 5 yards. That's not a good punt. A good punt, I'd say, in high school goes maybe 30, 35 yards net. So not the worst punt I've ever seen. Last year, Wisconsin versus Oregon State, the Oregon State punter actually kicked a negative punt for 7 yards. But definitely not a good punt.
And Jake, I think if you're Regis here, you actually try and get a quick pass and get it in range for your kicker because you do have a fantastic set of kickers at Regis, actually.
Harrison Thrasher, the kicker, with 16 seconds. Hotelling will fumble, and it's a fumble on the field. And just like that, the Raiders hand the ball over to Horizon. That was supposed to be short of a shovel pass from Hotelling. So, yeah. So it will be incomplete. Good. I did recognize that correctly.
Keep the ball in your hand, Jake. I don't think the Raiders need to be pitching, throwing, shoveling, anything. Just hand it off.
11 seconds left. We'll see if Hotelling can get the Raiders in field goal range. Regis Jesuit does have one timeout remaining. Two receivers on either side. Hotelling, and then they're going to run it to Bertinelli. Bertinelli taking it from the 40 to the 32. 4, 3, 2, 1. And Nolan will take the team into halftime with a 7-point deficit. Oh, excuse me. Nolan will call timeout with 2 seconds left on the clock.
All right. So, Jake, what do you expect to see from Raiders? You think they'll air it out? You think, God, that's a very long kick for a high school kicker. I don't think he can make that. What do you think?
No, Harrison cannot kick a 55-yard field goal, Steven. As awesome as that would be, and as much as everyone thinks that in Denver you can pretty much kick forever, there still is a limit on how far a kicker can kick.
Sorry, Jake, but I'm pretty sure you can kick forever in Denver. I think, honestly, Jake, I'd say throw Harrison out there. He's got a great kick. He made I think he actually made 60 in practice the other day. Give the kid a shot. I mean, you don't have the throwing arm to get into the end zone. You don't want to risk a pick six here. I'd say let the kid kick it.
Well, Steven, your suggestion was gladly taken by Mark Nolan, but he will instead go for a regular offensive play, and Hotelling will wait, and he's going to run, and he's not going to get in the end zone, so I don't really understand why you would do that instead of just waiting for your receivers to get farther downfield and chuck it. But who am I at the end of one half of play? It's 7-0 here at Luke Kellogg Stadium. The Horizon Hawks 7, Regis Jesuit nothing. We'll come back for a halftime show in a little bit, but we'll join you for the third quarter. Thanks for listening. Kicking off for the Raiders, number 87, Vince Saban. And Vince's kick to the 8-yard line. Ball run out. He's got a big space off across the 40-yard line. I didn't get a chance of who that was. That was number 9, Tyler Spear. And for the third quarter, I'm joined with my good friend Andrew Reel to spew out some color commentary. Andrew, good to be here with you.
Great to be here with you too, Jake. And how you doing out there, Regis faithful?
Andrew Reel, a great and ex-football player, a really knowledgeable guy, a good college football buddy to talk to. I like to make fun of his Wolverines a lot. And here is Stackhouse handing it off. That'll be a gain of about 1. A good pressure by the Regis defense to make that gain minimal.
Yeah, Jake, and that defensive line that we got for Regis, they just get off that ball, and they are so strong and so good at maintaining their gaps. And it just makes it really hard for anyone to run up the middle and to run outside when you got Grant Neal at 34 out there and Antonio Broadus, number 7, really causing havoc for those offenses.
Just hold it closer to you because it's hard for it to pick up like here. 11:19 left in the third quarter. Stackhouse performed pretty well in the first half, made some long completions. Stackhouse is going to pitch it to number 22, Dante Chand. Another good stop by the Regis defense to make it 3rd and long.
And Jake, these Regis defenses especially, sometimes it takes that first half for them to get comfortable and to get kind of feel out the fight, know what the opposing team's bringing. And I look for them to not allow nearly as many yards gained as they did the second half, or as they did the first half.
Indeed, Andrew, the offense for the Raiders was pretty much the main reason that the defense had so much pressure on them. The only time Horizon put points on the board was when they started to drive at the Regis Jesuit 1. Stackhouse rolling out to the right side, looking downfield. He's going to throw it to number 25, leads him a little too far, incomplete, and it'll be 4th down and 9.
Yeah, this is it's going to be a big series coming up for this offense. They kind of got things rolling in the first half. Due to a few injuries, they definitely started to slow down a bit, but I look for them to come out with some fire because I know this staff, I know these guys, and they're going to come out with some swagger and be ready to play.
The punt by Chad Davis goes longer than his previous punt of about 5 yards, but a decent punt. That's about a 30-yard gain, and Regis Jesuit will start their first drive of the third quarter on their own 29-yard line. Matt Hotelling out to start the first drive for the Raiders. Hotelling didn't throw many passes in the first half. He did fumble, and he did throw an backwards lateral that allowed Horizon an easy punch-in touchdown from the 1-yard line. Hotelling under center. He's going to hand it off to Chase Bertinelli. Chase will take it for maybe a yard at most.
And folks got to remember what Matt Hotelling's going through. That's a sophomore out there starting for your varsity team. Especially with such an elite program like Regis, that's got to be a lot of pressure for that kid, and I think he's handled it quite well.
2nd and 8 from the 31-yard line. Hotelling under center, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, Elliot DeJour. Man in motion, number 4, John Schmidt. Hotelling some trouble with the snap, but manages to hand it off. Bertinelli for almost a first down, if not more. Some late contact after the play downfield, but no flags thrown. A good run by Chase.
That was DeJour out there getting after it with that block out there, and that's good to see. It's good to see the Raiders come out with some fire, ready to go.
3rd and 1 on the 38-yard line. Regis going to send some men off the field real quick. Elliot DeJour, the near receiver. Andrew, I don't know if I've seen a single play this game that Regis has run in the shotgun. A.J. Shaw in motion from left to right. It'll be a handoff. And Chase Bertinelli has a first down for the Raiders.
Yeah, there's not much shotgun going on tonight, and I think that's because the coach wants to keep the ball, not get rid of it. I mean, with the shotgun, there can be so many opportunities just to fumble. I mean, coming from a center's perspective, snapping from the shotgun is not an easy task at all.
I was just told by our statistician, Justin Brazel, that Chase Bertinelli has racked up 50 yards on 8 carries, so a good job by Chase to make some holes available. That's Jalen Williams on the right side, Jalen Williams, and this run is coming back, folks. Looks to be holding on the Raiders.
It's great to see Chase out there. He's just such a hard worker, such a real inspiration on this team, and he really means a lot to all of us. So it's great to see him out there, great to see him making the most of his senior year and getting some runs in.
And on that last play, folks, a good run by Jalen Williams that will come back after the holding penalty. So one thing, Andrew, that we noticed in the first half is that Regis had some problems with penalties, especially maybe some offensive line discipline problems, really a lot of holding penalties, and even some illegal formations. First and 13 now for the Raiders on the 39-yard line. 8:20 left to go in the third quarter. Hotelling will pitch to number 24, Jalen Williams, and Williams almost out for a first down.
Going back to those discipline problems, I mean, that's something that really should be corrected because, you know, the offensive line, they should be disciplined, they should be ready to go, and, I mean, it's so easy for them to destroy drives just with senseless mental mistakes.
Yes, indeed, Andrew, and now it's 2nd and 2 exactly at midfield on the 50-yard line. Hotelling under center. Handoff to Bertinelli. Bertinelli evades an initial tackle and carries it down inside the Hawks' 40-yard line for a new set of downs for the Raiders.
This is great. This is the exact type of stuff any coach would want to see, especially a coach who runs in the pro system, because these small to medium gains just not only wear on the defense just because you're gaining yards, but it wears on their mental capacity too, just knowing that they can't stop you, and it's really more of a psychological game at that point when you're just getting 3 to 4 yards every play like that.
Hotelling under center, Alex Mitchell in motion. It'll be a handoff to Mitchell. He'll take it around the right side. Alex Mitchell tries to shake and bake, and the result will only be a 1-yard gain. 7:14 left in the third quarter.
It's good to see that Regis Raider fan base out there really making things difficult for that Horizon team. Best fans in the state.
And we need all the support we can get next Friday as the Raiders travel to Mullen to take on our Lasallian Catholic rivals. It'll be Jesuits versus Lasallians, but a great rivalry, but really a lot of respect on both sides. Hotelling will roll out to the left for his first throw of the third quarter, and Hotelling will instead tuck it and run around the 30-yard line. He's still on his feet. He gets hit pretty hard. No flag, but that's enough for a first down.
That Mullen-Regis matchup next week is just going to be great. You got two great powers in the state, great tradition. It's just going to be a great matchup, and it'll be interesting to see how Mullen does tonight playing a California top-ranked school in De La Salle. So it'll really give some insight into how the Mullen team's doing this year.
6:39 left to go in the third quarter. A new set of downs. Regis Jesuit ball on the 28-yard line of Horizon. Hotelling under center. Bertinelli in the backfield. 3 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. Hotelling rolling out. He's going to throw a fade to the right, and that was not a good throw, but it will be out of bounds. Late flag. I think Hotelling got hit late, so I believe that's a personal foul, roughing the passer, and that'll be a first down for Regis, but we'll wait for the official call. It is indeed roughing the passer on Horizon, so a good result comes out of that. Oh, that'll be a first down for the Raiders.
Those Raiders just keep on rolling right down that field.
And some good stats from Justin Brazel. Regis total stats for the first half, 139.5 total rushing yards. And those were actually all the yards the Raiders gained. They completed no passes. So you talk about one-dimensional. Literally, the Raiders do not pass the ball. Hotelling under center, 3 receivers right, 1 left. In the red zone, hopefully this is a big opportunity for the Raiders to get some points, possibly tie the game. Hotelling man in motion, number 3, Ian Leah. And Leah will take the ball to the right side, gain a couple.
You know, Jake, I mean, there's no reason to pass if you're running the ball so effectively. Like I said, this just creates such a mental game for this Horizon defense. And if the Regis Raiders keep going like this, there will be a point where Horizon will quit.
Under 6:10 to go in the third quarter. Number 19, Robert Orban, tight end on the right side. Horizon stacking the line with looks like a lot of defenders. Man coverage on the left. Hotelling under center. Man in motion, number 4, John Schmidt. Hotelling handoff to Bernelli. Evades a tackle. Bernelli will take it into the end zone. That's a Regis Jesuit touchdown. Chase Bernelli on the 9, a 14-yard scamper into the end zone. Andrew Rio, that's beautiful.
That is beautiful, Jake, and that is just got to be so demoralizing for that Horizon D to just see the Regis Raiders march down that field with just short to medium yard gains every time. I mean, it's just got to be great for that Regis offense. Give them some momentum.
So with 5:43 left in the third quarter, Regis scores a touchdown. There's a flag on the kick. And I believe there's a little motion, offsides on Horizon. But the whistle was before the point was attempted, so Regis will be forced to attempt another extra point. Harrison Thrasher, one of the better kickers in the state for sure. Got a very powerful soccer leg. Mark Nolan and the rest of the Regis Jesuit team has complete faith in him to make even pretty long field goals. And again, for those of you that don't know, tomorrow's a great day of college football action. Michigan hosts Air Force in what hopes to be a rebound performance from their embarrassing 41-14 blowout against Alabama. Ohio State hosts Central Florida, and it's good with Andrew Reahill. Here, we have the old Ohio State-Michigan rivalry. And the snap, good. Harrison pounds that through the uprights. And with 5:43 left in the third quarter, we are tied.
Harrison Thrasher making those kicks so easy.
Well, folks, and it's an absolutely beautiful night here at Regis Jesuit High School. After this is the back-to-school dance. A really powerful scene for the freshmen to experience their first home football game, really be a part of the Regis Jesuit community. And for us seniors, it's just awesome to be back here experiencing one of the best parts about Regis Jesuit, the home football atmosphere. Unbelievable fan support here. Again, if you didn't remember, we're now using a program on Max Preps called Quick Score, where if you sign up, you get live updates of all Regis Jesuit football scores. And if we get enough followers, Max Preps will actually give the Regis Jesuit Broadcasting Club a lot of money. So we'd really appreciate that for us. You're helping out the Regis community. And here to kick off from the 40-yard line is Vince Sabin. The student section is letting them hear it. Sabin with a big kick. That'll go into the end zone for an easy touchback.
In college and pro, it seems like a touchback's maybe not that big of a deal. But let me tell you, in this high school arena, touchbacks are huge. You don't want to give a team any chance to return because in high school, any return can be that big one.
You know this kid's smart because of his insights, ladies and gentlemen. Stackhouse will start his drive on the 20-yard line. We'll see if the Regis Jesuit student section can make some mayhem here. Stackhouse was more effective early in the game. He's still been good as of late. Under center, in motion, number 88, Gunnar Campbell. Stackhouse going to hand it off. Dante Chand for a gain of about 9.
Hey, Jake. Glad to be back here. join our guest, Andy Reel. He's a great commentator. I was just listening to him downstairs with our producer, Tommy Raines, and absolutely fantastic. Andrew, we love having you on here, and you really have insights into the game that sometimes we can't give. Thanks for being here.
Hey, Steve, it's a pleasure, man. Thanks for having me. I hope to be back soon. Enjoy the game, guys.
One of the class gentlemen of Regis Jesuit. Stackhouse hands off, and a good surge by the Regis defense, but it looks to be enough for a Rangeview first down nonetheless. Indeed it is.
Just kidding, folks. Looks like I'm going to be here for the rest of this quarter. So, yeah, you'll get some more broadcasting courtesy of Relius Delius.
The real deal will be back for the duration of this third quarter, so we're all blessed to have him here. One of the rarer formations that the Horizon offense utilizes, the I formation, which will be used by Stackhouse to pass to the right side, a low pass but completed, and he's just outrunning the Regis secondary. Wow, that is one fast receiver. Regis took terrible angles. All they had to do was shove him out of bounds, but the result is like a 60-yard gain.
And that's the big threat with this Horizon offense. Not necessarily their driving powers such as the Regis Raiders, but it's definitely more of a big play style offense, which is why they like to utilize the shotgun. But like Jake said, very rare to see the Horizon team in an I formation. I wasn't expecting that.
Perhaps caught the Regis Jesuit defense off guard by going to a pass after a primarily I formation is usually used for running. 4:26 left to go in the third quarter. First and 10 on the 27-yard line. Man in motion, number 11, Austin Prince. And Stackhouse hands off to Chan. Chan will power forward for maybe one or two. Many fantasy owners are eagerly awaiting the beginning to the NFL season this Sunday. The Cowboys played the Giants 2 nights ago, but really, this will be interesting to see how the college action turns out tomorrow. And then the Broncos unveiling Peyton Manning as their starting quarterback. So here are the Hawks now in the I formation once again. Stackhouse, man in motion. The tight end number 23 jumped early. That's Greg Gonzalez. He flinched. Good job by the Regis defense. It'll be 2nd and 12.
Oh, no, ladies and gentlemen. That's not going to help that Horizon offense any. When you thrive on the big play, those backwards play have such a negative impact against you, even more than just a regular program.
So to sum it up, for those of you that haven't followed the entire game, Horizon during the first half completely dominated Regis, but because of some questionable coach calling and red zone opportunities, opted to go for it twice on 4th down and came up empty instead of kicking field goals. But as it is, the score 7-7. Again, Stackhouse in an I formation, looking left to number 20. The pass in front of the receiver, number 20, Dustin Rivas.
And Jake, a big thing to note in high school football is what people have to remember is that these field goals, it's not like professional and college where those are kind of just a gimme. I mean, a 30-yard field goal right down the line is still a pretty tough field goal for a high school kicker to make. So I can see where the Horizon team's coming from, but like you said, at the end of the day, it's some pretty questionable play calling.
The kicker did have the leg on the first field goal. It just went wide right. And now here's Stackhouse again, a draw. No, fake draw. Lobbing it up. It's intercepted. That's an interception on that. I'm not sure who that is, but a great job by the Regis offense to make Stackhouse pay for just floating that up there. And Regis Jesuit will take over. Seems to be an officials meeting at around the 25-yard line. We'll see what's going on.
And Jake, I'm just sitting here listening to you guys. You guys are doing a great job. Is that the Stackhouse we've been seeing in the game before? He looked like he played in college or the NFL before, and now he had poise in the pocket. And, hey, Jake, he's a great quarterback. He's beyond his years. Yes, NFL. But I don't know. This Stackhouse we're seeing seems different, Jake. What do you think?
I think definitely, Steven. Stackhouse completed some amazing passes, especially deep bombs in the first half. And Regis Jesuit will start off 1st and 10. Daniel Talley with the interception. 1st and 10 on the 10-yard line. 3:17 left in the third quarter. Hotelling under center. Hotelling going to hand it off to Bertinelli. Bertinelli will take it for a yard.
Let me tell you, Jake, Talley is an interception machine, man. That guy is a ball hawk. During the summer 7-on-7s, that kid was just getting interceptions left and right, and it's just so interesting to see this Horizon offense coming out and running the pro. It makes me think that, maybe they're second-guessing themselves going away from their general style.
Under 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Orban and Shaw in motion. Hotelling under center. 2 receivers right. Handoff. Pitch to Bertinelli. Bertinelli makes some tackles miss. Bertinelli bludgeoning his way through for a first down, a 14-yard gain.
It's great to see a smaller running back like Chase get such power running and such power football going on.
First down and 10 on the 25-yard line for the Raiders. Hotelling under center. Shaw and Orban moving to the right. Hotelling pitch to, that's number 24, Jalen Williams. Will take that for 5 yards.
The second half, I think, really shows the depth of this Regis running attack. I mean, when Chukama went out, it's great to see such depth show up in the depth chart and be able to maintain solid drives.
Andrew, honestly, it's amazing that Regis has rebounded from such devastating injuries to Grant, Neal, and Shukama, but proving that Chase has been just fine. Second down and 4 on the 31-yard line. 1:42 left to go in the third quarter. Some late subs coming in for the Raiders, John Schmidt and Elliot DeJour, the wide receivers on the left side. Hotelling under center. Man in motion. Orban. That's number 18. Number 18, Kevin Ware, on the motion. Did not work out for the Raiders, so it'll be 3rd and 6. Yes, that is the Kevin Ware that threw the ugly duck that was picked off by Horizon in the first quarter.
This is no doubt a big third down for the Regis Jesuit team. This is really a chance for them to show Horizon that they're here to play the second half, and they can essentially put this game away mentally right here.
Under a minute to go, 3rd and 7. Hotelling's going to hand off. That's 24. Jalen Williams, he will not get the 4th down. Andrew, I think you have to punt here.
It appears like you would have to punt here, but I mean, looking at that, that's about a 1-yarder, and I'd go for it. I'd establish the momentum, and I'd establish the tough guy mentality that Regis football is.
And you are thinking on the same strand as Mark Nolan. The Raiders will line up to go for it. 4th and 1 on their own 31-yard line. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a crucial moment in this game. John Schmidt in motion. Handoff up the middle. Jalen Williams. It's a close spot, and he got it. It's close, but I think he got it, Andrew.
It's great to see the Regis Raiders there, even if you didn't get it. I mean, that's just making a statement, showing the Horizon team that we're not going to play tentative, we're not going to play soft, we're going to go for it, and we're going to get the first down on you. It's been a pleasure being here with you guys. Unfortunately, I have to head out and enjoy the rest of your game.
Again, an unbelievable guy, Andrew Reel. We love to have him in the booth. Thank you so much, Andrew. Under 10 seconds to go in the third quarter. Chase Bertinelli now has 93 yards on 11 carries. Very solid stats for Bertinelli. Hotelling going to drop back. Will he throw? He's looking, and no, he will not throw. He'll run, and he'll get maybe 4 yards.
Look, Jake, great to be back. Steven here. Now, we had a great time with Andrew. He has so much football insight, Jake. Love getting with him. Looks like Hotelling actually had a good lane there. Then the lane broke down. Then he made nothing out of nothing again. So, again, that small hesitation by Hotelling maybe hurt him, but he turned it into positive yards. That's what matters, Jake.
Yeah, Steven, you might have some competition with Andrew now. I might have to fire you.
Cruel, Jake. Just cruel.
Oh, just kidding. I could never, What's great about the three of us especially is we all have different teams in the Big Ten to root for. I root for Ohio State, Steven roots for Michigan State, and Andrew's a diehard Michigan fan, so we all hate each other in a very college football non-literal sense. But I will say, Steven, Ohio State is the best of all three this year.
I would agree with that, Jake, if they could compete for a conference championship, but they cannot, Jake. I'm so sorry about that.
Well, that was a bad NCAA ruling that banned postseason eligibility. Hotelling has 28 yards rushing on 3 carries, courtesy of our statistician, Justin Brazel. Has not completed a pass through the air, but he's only attempted 3 passes. This Regis offense, very similar to I'm trying to think, like a Michigan State offense where they just never pass.
It's successful, Jake.
2nd and 5 on the 40. Number 18, Kevin Ware in motion. Handoff to Bertinelli. Bertinelli making some men miss for a first down.
And Jake, I think if we look back, Hotelling did complete that one pass, but it was brought back on a penalty. I don't exactly remember what the call was there, but still, when you have no passes completed, Jake, through 37 minutes of play, that's just shocking.
Hey, I feel like I remember a game last year where Tim Tebow completed like 1 pass the whole game and the Broncos won. Just saying.
Let's hope it happens here today, Jake.
11:40 left to go in the 4th quarter. Kevin Ware in motion. It'll be a handoff to Ware out to the left side. And Kevin Ware for a good gain of 4. So again, ladies and gentlemen, the score here in the 4th quarter, 7-7. Regis going with a hurry up. A.J. Shaw in motion left to right. Hotelling going to hand off to Bertinelli. Bertinelli makes it back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
I'll remember that. Jake, Regis is looking like the Regis we saw last week against Reggie. They're running it well. They know what their running backs can do, and I think they could honestly win this game now, Jake. I didn't think that in the first quarter.
3rd down and 6. Hotelling under center. He's going to pass. Will he complete a pass? No, he won't. He's going to run it. And again, Hotelling looks like his first instinct is almost to run, but it'll be 4th down and short. 4th down and short, Steven, and unquestionably, Regis will go for it. Injury update on Chukuma. He's on the sidelines right now on crutches. That's unfortunate. 10:20 left to go in the 4th quarter. This is another big play. 4th and 1. A.J. Shaw in motion, right to left. Hotelling, handoff. Bertinelli. Bertinelli powers. First down, Raiders.
And I was down in the producing booth while Andrew was talking for a little, Jake. And we apologize to our viewers. I don't think we're going to have live streaming all through the game. The internet is having some issues, but definitely come back later once we upload the video to see the end of the game, get some exciting. We'll try to hang on as long as we can.
10 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Hotelling under center. 2 receivers right. Halfback Bertinelli. John Schmidt in motion. Bertinelli handoff. And a good gain of maybe 6-7 yards. Nice effort by Chase.
I thought he was stopped at 3 or 4, Jake, and Chase really showing that power, saying to Coach Nolan, I can be a power back, and you can count on me, Jake. He's been so reliable this game. And if the Raiders win, I think he'll be a big part of why they do.
And with that carry, Bertinelli is over 100 yards, a nice achievement even in high school football. Hotelling really has been a figurehead for the Raider offense, hasn't really had to do anything. Hotelling will hand off to Bertinelli. Once again, and Bertinelli got a big gain after being tripped up. That'll be a first down for Bertinelli. A little more. Bertinelli is shaken up.
Jake, he is running. He's got a little gimp. He's running off in the exact same fashion we saw Grant Neal early in the game. Grant Neal never came back. If this is serious, Jake, the Raiders, he's definitely hobbling. We'll see what's up.
So the 4th string running back for the Raiders, Jalen Williams, will come in. 9 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Hotelling, man in motion, number 14, and it's a handoff to him. And there's a flag, so that's illegal motion. But, Steven, I wonder if these penalties, are they the result of the coaching staff or the players?
Jake, once you have 3 illegal motions, I imagine the plays are designed, or the players understand the plays wrong. That's on the coaching staff when you have 3 illegal motions in one game, Jake.
So Cody Lippert with the handoff that will be nullified after the illegal motion penalty. Again, that's really unacceptable. Another one of those bad penalties. And there's a false start on the Raiders now, so it'll be 1st and 15 on the 34. Chase Bernelli looks okay. Jalen Williams still in the game for now. Hoteling under center, 2 receivers right. 6 men in the box for Horizon, and Jalen Williams will get the handoff. Powers for maybe 2 at most.
And Jake, we'll see if the Raiders can convert here. They are very efficient, very good if they can get into the red zone or close to their end zone. And honestly, right now I think the Raiders have the mentality of getting in the area where Harrison Thrasher can put it through and getting that lead, Jake.
A big 2nd down and 13 for the Raiders. Hoteling under center. He's going to look to pass, and he's actually going to throw a pass over the middle. That is incomplete. Number 18. That's Kevin Ware, got slammed pretty hard. Excuse me, that's number 19, Robert Orban. He got hit pretty hard, but a legal hit.
Very much, Jake. And Horizon sending back the hard-hitting messages. Regis was sending them early. Regis, not so much anymore. So we'll see if these messages stick with the Raiders or if they know what they're trying to do and they can shake them off and really put some offense together, get some points on the board, Jake.
So it'll be 3rd and a long 13 for the Raider offense. A.J. Shaw in motion, Hoteling screen pass to the left. That's his first completed pass of the game to number 14, Cody Lippert. 4th down and 9. Steven, you have to go for it.
I think you do, Jake. I was just adding it up. I think that is a 30. Is that a 46-yard field goal, Jake?
Yes.
All right, Jake. I honestly think you can kick it with Harrison here, but I don't think this is the place to go for the Raiders. But, I mean, there's really no other option if you don't trust Harrison to get it that far. Or even Vince Saban. Vince Saban's had some incredible kickoffs. I'd throw Vince in there for the kick.
Well, Nolan better decide quickly because there's going to be a penalty. And it looks like Coach Nolan has decided to take a delay of game penalty to possibly try to pin them with a deep punt. Steven, what are your thoughts about this strategy?
Jake, you have 3 timeouts left. There's only 7:24 left in the game. I think you have to take a timeout there because now you just eliminated any possibility of kicking the ball. And where the ball's spotted, it looks like it'd only be a 44-yard field goal before that. I think you got to call a timeout there, Jake.
Nolan clearly playing the field position game, trying to pin the Hawks deep in their own field. We'll see if Sebastian Harris, number 88, can kick a good coffin corner here. He will be right about on the 50-yard line. Harris, it's a light kick. It's nice, and it's going to be fielded. So the ball goes out to the 33. That's a negative 2-yard punt. So the result did not work out at all.
And Jake, another reason I'm interested with Coach Nolan's call there is because the Raiders have had no success stopping the Hawks other than inside their own 30. So I don't know why Coach Nolan, I appreciate that he has faith in his defense, but I don't know why he'd expect that, Jake.
It's very difficult for punters, especially in high school, when they're trained to kick as hard as they can, when they're told, don't kick it as hard as you can. And I think what happened there, Sebastian took just a little too much off it, and it resulted in the Horizon kick returner having a lot of green in front of him. So once again, Stackhouse in an I formation, going to hand off to Chan for a gain of 2.
Jake, I really feel that if Horizon goes for a deep pass maybe here, that could be a good idea. Get some quick points on the board, and I think that might ultimately sink Regis if they can score on this drive. It wouldn't kill them, but it would make it very hard for the Raiders.
So a defensive showdown here at Luke Kellogg Stadium with 6:45 left to go in the final period of play. Both teams are tied 7-7. Horizon scored in the second quarter when they were gifted a fumble recovery on the 1-yard line, and Regis scored later in the third quarter. Here's Stackhouse rolling out right, and the pass is off its mark.
Jake, Stackhouse doesn't look like the Stackhouse we saw early in the game. I don't know if it's fatigue. I don't know if he's shaken. I don't know if something happened earlier where he got hit and got shaken up medically, but this is not Stackhouse we've been seeing, and I think that's playing to the Raiders' advantage.
Regis Jesuit scored in the third quarter on a touchdown run by Chase Bertinelli of 14 yards. So here's Stackhouse again in a crucial 3rd and 8. He's going to roll out to the right. He's going to throw to number 20, and that's incomplete. So Stackhouse has just lost his touch, and Horizon will be forced to punt.
And Jake, Stackhouse looking so great earlier in the game, 3 for 7. Now he's 5 for 15 with 133 yards. I remember when he had 3 completions for about 90 yards, but I don't know, Jake. I think this is a gift for the Raiders, and they need to take advantage of it.
There's a stoppage of play. That'll be a timeout Horizon. Possibly some miscommunication there on the field. 6:22 left in the fourth quarter again. We invite you to join us next weekend for a broadcast of Regis Jesuit at Mullen. Sure to be an exciting game between Mullen, one of the best programs in the state of Colorado the last decade, under a new coach firing Dave Logan. But everyone remembers the state championship game 2 years ago where Mullen pummeled Regis Jesuit, but both teams were undefeated heading into that game. It was one to remember, and we are going to be sure for a tremendous game. Tons of emotion and support going to come from both sides of Mullen and Regis next weekend. It's a big rivalry. Coach Nolan doesn't even refer to Mullen as their name itself, and it'll be a fair catch. Good catch. That is number 12, Will Dines. But that's dangerous, even. I can't tell you how many times I've seen someone just muff a punt.
There is that muffing possibility, Jake, but I like the smart football the Raiders are playing there. Will Dines looked at the defense, thought it through, and said, I'm not going to try to return this because we fumbled a couple times. We can't give them field position. And if the Raiders can play smart football, I honestly think they can defeat Horizon on this drive right here. They do run a lot of clock when they do drive, so.
Regis Jesuit with the ball on their own 34-yard line. Hotaling under center. He's completed 1 pass this game. John Schmidt in motion. Hotaling going to hand off to Bertinelli. Bertinelli's got some space. Bertinelli off across the 40-yard line. He looks to have a first down.
And you know, Jake, that running is really just, I've seen that play about 7 or 8 times today. I'm really surprised they haven't picked up on that, but Raiders are a dual threat running team now without Grant and Chuk in the game. You can expect them to get the ball. You don't know who's going to get the ball here, and you know that's just crucial.
6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Hotaling. John Schmidt in motion again. Hotaling, handoff to Bertinelli up the middle. Bertinelli evades a tackle. He gets to the sideline, and that's really, really unfortunate. The flag was tossed. This one's coming back.
Jake, I don't know if I'm going to have any hair left at the end of this game watching plays like that. That is so frustrating to watch when Bertinelli has a great play and then there's a holding call. The Regis Jesuit Raiders will definitely get a talk and work on practice on discipline and just keeping your head focused and not committing penalties.
So it'll be first down and very, very long for the Raiders. 1st and 17 as Hotaling brings his men to the line under center. And it's a handoff. Number 18, Kevin Ware, gets maybe 3 yards.
Jake, it looked like you had an open lane. Horizon, great job defending. That was just solid defense. Bend, didn't break, as you like to say. And fantastic running and defense there. It's really becoming a real good football battle, Jake.
Steven, the clock goes pretty fast in high school football. We're at about 5 minutes to go left in the fourth quarter. Both these offenses have been pretty slow, so we could very well have overtime. Now here's Jalen Williams. Jalen Williams making men miss at the 50. He's at the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10. Jalen Williams to the end zone. Touchdown, Regis.
Jake, that was one of the best runs I have seen ever in high school football. He juked. He made kids miss. That was all on him. The blocking was great, but that was Jalen Williams running the ball into the end zone. Great run. Amazing play, and that's why he's on the field, Jake. He just proved it.
Just to talk to you folks for a sec about the depth of the Regis running back corps. He's the fourth-string running back who just tacked off a 61-yard gain into the end zone. Thrasher's kick is up and good with 4 minutes and 51 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. Regis Jesuit 14, Horizon 7.
And Jake, if you tune in now, you might say, wow, what a great defensive battle. These teams are really evenly matched. I am shocked at how strong the Raiders have come out in this second half and really shown Horizon they can compete, they will compete, and now Horizon's playing catch-up, which I don't think they ever expected. Jake, I think Raiders have the momentum, and I believe they will win this game now that they have the lead with so little time left on the clock.
If the scoreboard is correct, Horizon has no timeouts left. Vince Saban to kick off from the 40-yard line. Steven believes that they have 3 timeouts left, so we're going to see. Under 5 minutes to go. Steven, this is just unbelievable. Saban to kick off the student section, getting their wave on. Saban's kick to be received, and he drops it. He almost steps out of bounds, but he doesn't. That's number 16. He'll get trapped within the 10-yard line. That's Jack Sherwood. Horizon will have terrible field position to start this crucial drive.
I don't know why you received that, Jake. Goes back to smart football. Raiders played smart football. Horizon not playing smart football right now, and it cost them there. And we'll see if they can get out of this jam like they have earlier in the game. But all the momentum, it is literally like Regis is standing on the top of a mountain, and Horizon's at the bottom. It's going to be hard to overcome, Jake.
Horizon's on the horizon. And just to a quick tidbit on that, 2 things could have happened on that, Steve. And it could have bounced in the end zone for a touchback, or it could have gone out of bounds, and they would have got the ball on the 40-yard line. So a bad decision to try to receive that kick. Stackhouse under center. They're going to do a pitch. I wasn't sure the number on that, but a big defensive stop for negative yards. Steven, the tide has turned.
And Jake, that's what Regis defense needs. We see they need momentum. They need to get in the heads, and that makes them vicious, because once they're in your heads, it seems like there are 15 defenders out there, Jake, not just 11. And I think, honestly, with this momentum, I don't think Horizon can come back unless there is a giant play here. I look for Stackhouse to go deep on this play.
Stackhouse dealing with 2nd and 13 from his own 5-yard line. Stackhouse scrambling out left. He's looking for number 20. He's got a man. And he evades some people to the 20-yard line. Dustin Rivas for a gain of about 20. A big gain there.
You know, Jake, that you had to expect that if you're the Raiders. Horizon's not a running team. They're obviously a passing team for what we've seen, even though they do run a lot. But he's made 17 pass attempts now. So I think you got to expect another maybe deep pass here, Jake, because I don't think they'll run it after that gain.
I just saw Mark Nolan telling his sideline to amp it up. The excitement is palpable here at Luke Kellogg Stadium. 3:30 left to go in the fourth quarter. Stackhouse dealing with 1st and 10 from his own 25-yard line. He's going to scramble out right. Stackhouse going to go deep down the middle to number 22. Way out of line. Horizon looking for a flag. That was not catchable.
Jake, I didn't see the interference they were calling for. I mean, there might have been a hand on him. But I honestly, with the time crunch, Jake, you've been watching Horizon's offense all game. Do you think they can run a 2-minute drill?
If Stackhouse can be effective with deep passes, I think they've got a decent chance. But as of now, with the way he's been missing his passes in the second half, I'd say he doesn't have a lot of confidence. 3:23 to go. 2nd and 10 on the Horizon 25. Stackhouse, two receivers to the left. He's going to roll out to the right. Stackhouse now going to try to cut it up, and he's going to be tackled. The clock goes tick-tock.
And Jake, honestly, I've been watching the speed of this, and it is not an Oregon-style offense where you try to snap as many plays off as you can in the shortest amount of time. This, and indeed, Jake, Horizon did take a timeout, so they do have timeouts left. We'll see if the scorers can reset the clock so that we know exactly how many. But I don't think Horizon can run a 2-minute drill, Jake. They're going to use all the clock if they do come down and score to tie Regis.
Steven, they have 2 downs to get 8 yards. They have to convert here or else Regis will just milk the clock, and this game will be done and the Raiders will be 2-0. But what an unbelievable comeback, just momentum-wise, from being completely dominated in the first half to coming out and setting the tone in the second half.
And Jake, I'm a very emotional speaker, and I think you can even tell it. In the first half, I was kind of down, and it seemed like we were getting beaten. Now I'm upbeat and excited, Jake, and you were there on Jalen's run. So the entire stadium, you can just feel it, Jake. You can feel the excitement building, and the Raiders know that right now they are a 2-0 team, and they can hold on to that with some tough D.
3rd down and 8 on the Horizon 27-yard line. Stackhouse in the shotgun. He's going to roll out to the right. He's going to go deep. That's number 10, and it's complete. Wow, what a catch by number 20. Wow. Dustin Rivas, that's his second big catch of the game. But Stackhouse reminding us that he can still throw the deep bomb.
And Jake, I said it in the first or second quarter, that will be there all day. And indeed it is. This Regis secondary, good, not great. So we'll see if they can take this momentum. And even though Regis has the big wave of momentum, we'll see if they can turn this small one into even the momentum out and tying the game, Jake.
Not bad coverage by what I believe to be Shane Moody. Just a great play by Rivas and a great pass by Stackhouse. Stackhouse now going to roll out to the left. They're still 35 yards away, and a little flip. I don't think that's legal, but he was out of the box. So, and it will be intentional grounding. So that's a loss of down. I don't think the pass got to the line of scrimmage, so that's why the flag will be thrown.
And you know, Jake, you saw he just didn't want to take the sack, but I think the ref saw in the manner of which he threw it that there was no actual intent to even reach a receiver. He was just kind of getting rid of it. There is no flag, Jake.
Okay, so the penalty, the throw did cross the line of scrimmage. That is the requirement. You must be outside of the tackle box and throw the ball across the line of scrimmage for it not to be intentional grounding. So it'll be 2nd and 10 again from the 34-yard line. Still, Horizon needs a touchdown and an extra point with 2:57 left to go in the fourth quarter. Stackhouse under center. As of recently, Horizon has gone away from the shotgun. Stackhouse drops back in a throw right. Looks to do it. It's like new NFL thing. They want the receiver to look back, but miscommunication there with Rivas and Stackhouse.
And you know, Jake, despite that miscommunication, again, it's 3rd and 10 here inside 3 minutes, but I think Horizon has got their act together a little more, and I think they can make something happen if they can at least get some yards on this play. This is 2-down territory, Jake, as we all know.
3rd down and 10 on the 34-yard line. This stadium is getting loud. The rowdies are getting the crowd rowdy. Let's make some noise, Regis. Stackhouse gonna look left. He's now gonna look to the right to Rivas. That's the most unbelievable catch I've seen a high school player make.
Rivas has been fantastic all game, Jake, and I believe he's honestly keeping Horizon in this game. Dustin Rivas is absolutely fantastic.
He stole that pass from the Regis DB. Absolutely unbelievable composure to deal with a defender being right on you, making contact with you. We'll see who's down.
Looks like Rivas. Jake, it actually looks like Rivas is down. So we'll see how that affects Horizon. He has been keeping them. He's been giving them the momentum they've needed with his big plays. So taking Rivas out of the game, do you think that could deflate all the momentum they've gained, Jake?
Steven Rivas and Stackhouse seem to be the two prime targets, and especially for Rivas, he is Stackhouse's man. Rivas coming out. We'll see who Stackhouse looks to now that the game is in crunch time. A lot of time left for Horizon. 2 minutes and 38 seconds left.
Stackhouse now 8 for 20 with 218 yards, Jake, so he is improving.
Pretty phenomenal average yards per completion there. Over 25 yards to completion. Stackhouse in the eye. The student section is getting loud. We're going to have a timeout, Regis, to talk over the defensive formation.
I can't tell how many timeouts each team has left, Jake. I want to say 2 and 2 or 2 and 1 of some form. But, Jake, what do you think Horizon needs to do here to get into the end zone and tie this game?
Honestly, Steven, Horizon's running game has been pretty inefficient, so the bear to burden is going to be on Stackhouse to find a new receiver now that Rivas is out of the game. This is big. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a big play. 1st and goal on the 10-yard line. The defense motioning to the student section to get loud. The parents and the alumni getting loud. Make this down miserable. Stadium getting loud. Here we go. Stackhouse under center. 2:23 left to go in the 4th quarter. Stackhouse rolling. Looking right. Fade to the end zone. Too far to complete. Oh, watch the roughing, number 53 for Regis. Rivas is back in almost. Wow, that was number 53 for Regis. Eddie Gonzalez. Ooh, almost getting a little too aggressive.
And, you know, that's the way Eddie plays, Jacob. We've seen all game. He's got to be careful, though. You can't commit a bad penalty inside your own 10. We'll see if Regis' goal line. Horizon now 1 for 5, 20% efficiency in the red zone. We'll see if Regis can make that even worse.
This crowd is getting loud. 2nd and goal from the 10-yard line. Stackhouse. He's going to pump right. He's going to look right again. He's got a man. He overthrew him. He was open, Steven.
That was Rivas again, Jake. And I mean, I think the Raiders are covering Rivas, but they can't cover him. As we saw, he was still open. But they need to get Rivas' number, in case they didn't know, it's 20. And they need to keep it. And I think the key on this down, Jake, is to get that aggressive, to get Antonio Broadus and Eddie Gonzalez in the pocket and disrupt Stackhouse, because he's done really poorly when they put pressure. So if Eddie Gonzalez can get in and disrupt it, he will, by no doubt, have Defensive Player of the Game.
And the Regis student section now chanting 7 Nation Army. 3rd and goal from the 10. Stackhouse again looking right. Fade to the end zone. It's up. It's incomplete. There is no penalty flag down. 4th and 10. Stackhouse is looking for the flag. I think that's a good no call, Steven.
I think it is too, Jake. What the Raiders have to remember is that it's 4th down, but that's still a down of football to play. They need to keep their heads in it and keep focused, Jake. And that's the hardest thing to do with a young team, is keeping focus after a play like that.
Make sure you do not commit a pass interference penalty in the end zone. That'll give Horizon a new set of downs and the ball on the 2-yard line. It's 4th and goal. This stadium is getting loud. We're going to have a timeout. That's a timeout, Regis, to talk over the defense on this crucial 4th and goal.
Smart coaching by Mark Nolan. He knows his defense might not be as focused as they were. He knows they need to calm down and make one more play to ensure this game, Jake. And we'll see if they can do that. I know the Regis defense is capable of it. Again, my keys for this play are Antonio Broadus and Eddie Gonzalez, who've definitely, despite the tough game, have earned their positions on the field tonight by disrupting Stackhouse and getting in his head.
2 minutes, 8 seconds to go. Is there a better song than Seven Nation Army for the world of sports?
I don't think so, Jake. And you can really hear it. You are getting pumped up. You can tell it in my voice, Jake. Here it is. This decides the game.
4th and goal. The last 3 passes went to the right side. Number 22 in motion on the right. 3 receivers on the left. Stackhouse looking left. He doesn't have any time. He throws the ball, and that's incomplete. It's a fumble. It doesn't matter. I guess they're going to run with it. Regis going to take that down the field. That's number 12, the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10. Will Dines taking it to the house. Touchdown, Regis. Unbelievable. I don't think that's legal, but we have no instant replay. That's a touchdown.
And you know, Jake, what was my key to the play before? What was my key to this play?
Eddie Gonzalez.
That's right, Jake. And you know who had the sack and forced fumble? Eddie Gonzalez. He has earned his position. And that is that a touchdown, Regis, Jake?
We're going to see what the call on the field is. There's a excessive celebration on the Raiders. Who cares, Steven? Under 2 minutes to go, the game's over. They'll take that on the kickoff. But a 2-possession game, one of the best games I've seen here in my Regis career. I have no idea what to expect for the rest of the season, but this is great. A win over a top-ranked team at home. Let's get some people to storm the field.
And Jake.
I'm sorry, I just have to say, Steven, real quick. Harrison stutter-stepped because the snap wasn't there yet. He pretty much kicked without any wind-up and still got it through the upright.
Benefit of being a soccer player, Jake. And excessive celebration penalty, it doesn't matter. But you really don't like to see those either, Jake. You like to have good sportsmanship, which the Raiders always do. I'm not commenting on their bad sportsmanship. But you really don't like to see penalties like that, Jake, and that's another matter of discipline that no one will take up after celebrating the win.
Well, Steven, I personally disagree with you on that because they're set. I think the inappropriate celebration penalties are like spiking or taunting the other team. That celebration penalty was simply for the Regis team, and especially the bench, swarming the field after that big play. So I don't know if there's anything really necessarily wrong. It's not on the same level of disrespect as spiking the ball or punting the ball.
Fair enough, Jake, and I agree with you in some respect there. That fumble return by Will Dines, 88 yards, Jake, and that he's a linebacker. For a linebacker to run 88 yards, you have to have something special in the tank, and he knew that it was to end the game for his team, and he knew what he had to do.
I can't stress it again, though, ladies and gentlemen. What a great first home game win against a ranked team at home. It's not over yet, but the game's wrapped up. For practical purposes, the game is over. 1:48 left. Vince saving the kickoff from the 40. Saban's kick will be fielded at the 10. Horizon going to run it back out to the 25-yard line.
And I just saw Coach Nolan going up to his defense, making an X with his arms, which they do at the Raiders defense, and he is pumped up. He knows his defense have earned their keep today, and he was actually making it to Eddie Gonzalez, Jake. And I think Eddie gets our defensive player of the game. We can call that now.
And, folks, I'd just like to point out quickly that it's easy for a coach to win if you have players that are as skilled as Alabama. Heck, I could probably play call for Nick Saban's offense and still go 12-0. When you have athletes that good, but what Mark Nolan has done through 2 weeks this year with I don't want to say bad talent, but definitely not the level of talent that we're used to seeing at Regis with such a young team. Mark Nolan has made the most out of this team, and that is a testament to his coaching ability. And that's a big run by Rivas out across the 50-yard line. But again, Steven, just an unbelievable job by this Regis coaching staff to maximize their players and make a system that Regis can succeed in.
Especially tonight, Jake. You see your top two running backs go out. Quick injury updates on that. Actually, Chuk still on crutches with the shoe off with his foot wrapped up. Grant Neal actually wearing both cleats. He did take his pads off before the second half began. So we know he wouldn't be coming back, but he is wearing both cleats. Look like he'll be able to make a good recovery.
1:31 left to go in the game. Stackhouse in the shotgun. He's going to throw right. And he'll be tackled after being tried to strip the ball. So the clock will run. Really, every play that's not a first down is not good at this point for the Hawks.
And, Jake, I think the Hawks know it. They're still huddling up. And you don't really run huddles when you think you can win it. You try to run as quick as you can. So I think they'll try to get down there, get some last points, and hope for a last-second miracle, Jake.
Stackhouse in the shotgun again, rolling out right. He's going to throw deep down the field to Rivas. That is a talented young man. He is spinning out of tackles, pressing the B button on the Xbox. He has not dropped passes, Steven.
Jake, Dustin Rivas looks even shaken up. He's limping a little, but he is absolutely a fantastic player, Jake. Fantastic. He's limping hard, Jake, and he's shaking up, but he's still sticking in there for his team, and he knows. It's somebody, I believe Horizon called a timeout, Jake, maybe to just get a quick score. But Dustin Rivas now with over 150 yards receiving. That is a amazing stat for a wide receiver in high school, Jake. In fact, he's approaching 200 if he gets about 9 more yards. He's at 191.
Rivas gets my Player of the Game award for Horizon by far, hands down. The catches he's made, especially on deep balls, when he's lost his balance, when he's been on the ground, when he's been in contact with the Regis DB on a diving play, that's just plays that you don't even expect a good high school receiver to make.
And I think, Jake, for me, he actually gets the offensive player of the game because Regis had a couple big plays, but nobody really performed through the entire game. I think Dustin Rivas gets my offensive player of the game.
Stackhouse going to roll right. He's going to pump fake. He's going to try to throw it to someone. And he does complete it. That's to number 25, Chad Davis. It's incomplete, so Davis was out of bounds. He tried to tiptoe the far sideline. It's out of bounds.
I think, Jake, if you're Horizon, you have to score on this play. 40 seconds left. Give yourself a chance with an onside kick and be able to run 4 plays time-wise. So I think if you're Horizon, you got to go for the end zone 3 plays in a row.
Bob McPhee showing his anger that the scoreboard operators, which are not us, did not run the clock on the last play. That's a righteous cause to be upset for. So Stackhouse on 2nd and 5. He's going to throw left to the end zone. It's caught, and it'll be taken down to about the 2-yard line. So we're not done yet, Steven. But if Regis can make just one more running stop, I'd say this game is almost done.
I'd say so, Jake, but I think they're going to throw it, and we'll see if Horizon can actually get it in.
Stackhouse going to go no huddle. He doesn't know where to go. He doesn't know where to go. He's going to try to run it, and I don't know if he got it. He did not get it, so the clock's going to run. I don't know if they have another timeout left. They're going to hurry to the line. They don't have another timeout, so they're going to go no huddle. 10 seconds left to go. Stackhouse, he's going to run it to number 22, who dances into the end zone, but there are only 6 seconds left. So I'd still call that a win for Regis.
Jake, you never know with a quick onside kick recover. There's still time left on the clock, and I think that's why Mr. McPhee was so angry when they didn't run the clock, is because that time could honestly be gone right now, Jake. So we'll see if that is the number 22 for Horizon. Chan, that is 2nd touchdown today. So he scored all the points for Horizon other than PATs.
whistle on the play on Regis. I swear, Steven, that's about the 5th time I've seen the defense be offsides on a field goal in 2 games.
Jake, this is a matter of discipline again, and I think that's what Coach Nolan needs to take away, is that he can win games, but his team needs to be more disciplined, Jake.
So let's see if the Raiders can get in the head. That's number 25. Chad Davis, the kick is up, and it is straight through. So with 6 seconds left, we have a 7-point game. Regis Jesuit 21, Horizon 14.
It'll be interesting to see the Regis hands team they send out, Jake, because obviously Horizon's going for an onside kick, and they've got to make it a quick one. Normally, onside kicks take 5 to 6 seconds. We'll see if we do have a clock controversy at the end if they do recover.
Steven, I've always thought, I think teams should practice. When you get in situations like this, if you field the ball and there's not someone right on you, run around in circles for a bit. Drain the clock. I mean, you take a knee, that's fine, but you still have to run another play. Run around in circles, run backwards. It doesn't matter. Once the clock expires, the game's over. So we'll see what the Regis hands team will do with 6 seconds left.
And it looks, Jake, they've looked at Horizon's onside kick maybe and know it could go to either side. So it'll be interesting to see which side Horizon just choose to go to, or if they have everybody go to one side.
The farthest Regis receiver is on the 26-yard line, clearly not expecting anything deep. There would be no reason to. I don't even know if that's necessary. 6 seconds left. They're going to do a quick kick up the middle, and it'll be fielded by the Raiders. So that is all she wrote. Regis hands team receiving it on the fly. Victory formation. Steven, it was closer than I thought, but I stand by my assertion about 2 minutes ago that the game was over when Will Dines returned that 88 yards.
I think it was, Jake. And I think it'd be a different story if they had about 14 seconds left on the clock. They might have. That was an interesting onside kick, Jake. I don't think that's exactly what they wanted. But a great play by Horizon today. Fantastic play by the Raiders. They have something to celebrate, Jake.
Hoteling in the V that every team wants so desperately to finally perform, and he does it. Ladies and gentlemen, the first home game of the 2012 Regis Jesuit season. Regis 21, Horizon 14, a hard-fought game by both sides. Steven, final thoughts.
Okay, Jake, just to recap with my players of the game, then I'll like to hear yours. I have Eddie Gonzalez on defense. I've been talking about him all game. Really got in the head of Stackhouse. And then I have to go offensive player of the game. I have to give it to Horizon's number 20, Dustin Rivas. He was fantastic. 191 yards receiving. So absolutely fantastic. What about you, Jake?
Steven, I'm going to go with the big play that completely changed this game and put it away. Will Dines, his 88-yard fumble recovery. Not sure if the quarterback was down. Not sure if it was an incomplete pass. Whatever. No replay in high school. It's an 88-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown. And for Horizon, I say the Horizon player of the game is without a second thought, Dustin Rivas, for absolutely amazing game receiving, almost 200 yards. But in the end, Regis did what it had to do, came back from being dominated early in the game. And that's the kind of games that you got to win if you want to go deep into the postseason.
So, Jake, just a couple final broadcasting notes. Again, tomorrow night at 7 p.m., we will be here with the Pine Creek versus Regis Jesuit soccer game. It will be absolutely a fantastic game to watch. Tune in. This will be the first ever broadcasted soccer game on live.regisjesuit.com by RJ Live. Also, look forward to seeing you next week when you come in Friday night to watch the undefeated Regis Jesuit Raiders play again. Are we home next week, Jake, or are we away?
Ladies and gentlemen, next Friday at 7 at Brother Bernard Kennedy or whatever, De La Salle Stadium at Mullen, Regis Jesuit against Mullen. If you can be there, wear your red and white. If you can't, and it'll be a tough ticket, it will be, beyond a doubt, a sellout. There will be many people turned away. Catch us on RJ Live. Listen to us, live.regisjesuit.com, because that will be an unbelievable game. We might be ranked next week. That'd be awesome. If not, I'll have no problem knocking off teams that are supposed to be above us. But that's going to be just one for the ages tomorrow. Regis versus Mullen, a tremendous rivalry.
Indeed, Jake. And I'm just shocked at the great start to the season, Jake. These were not the Regis Jesuit Raiders I was expecting at the start of the season. And they have just come out fantastic as a young team. Even with injuries and adversity tonight, they handled it very well and put this game away.
So to sum it up, ladies and gentlemen, Regis Jesuit wins tonight 21-14 against the Horizon Hawks. Home opener for Steven Snyder, Justin Brazel, our statistician, Colin Stover, and Tommy Rains, our awesome producer. I'm Jake Leonard. Thanks for tuning in with us, and we hope to see you next week and in the future on RJ Live.